Welcome to the Steve Thomas Podcast. This is one of many. You have to forgive me. Right now, we are operating out of the garage. If you can't tell, we are working on the studio upstairs. We have a room cut out just for that, and we will be doing our podcast up there. But what we do is we're going to be covering just a few of the main stories that we find interesting that are very recent, usually within a day to maybe three of the current day. And we just dive into it a little bit. And today I have three stories for you. Other days we might only be able to cover one, depending on how much depth there is to it. But nonetheless, welcome, and we're going to get started. So for the first story we have comes out of Fayetteville, Georgia. I'm not sure exactly where that's at. I know I've been there before, but what we have essentially is a Walmart employee who is 19 years old, a male, ended up shooting another 19-year-old male and also shot a 9-year-old. It's presumed that the 9-year-old was an innocent bystander. I'm not sure their name or if they're female or male or whatnot. But this is a very tragic case. What they're saying is supposedly the 19-year-old Walmart worker had already planned on shooting another 19-year-old male. I guess a stray bullet hit the 9-year-old. The 9-year-old survived. Of course, both were rushed to the hospital, but the 19-year-old victim died. Not sure what exactly happened here. I guess they're still trying to sort it out. Very sad story, especially when you have an innocent child or a child of any kind that died due to some type of violent-minded person. It's really sad. It happened actually on Good Friday, which was 2 days ago. Today is March 30th, 2024. And the suspect is currently on the run. Adrian Jelks, Jelks. That's the Walmart employee, the suspect, the shooter, or whatnot. They said that he fled the scene right away and that supposedly the cops were there immediately afterwards. But I guess he drove away. I don't know if it was in his car or in somebody else's car. That's sort of unclear. But anyway, he ditched the car and either went out on foot or got picked up by someone else. Obviously, he has a gun on him. The cops found the vehicle. They did not find the suspect. He's still on the run. His whereabouts are unknown. Hopefully they catch him. We can't have people like this running around without the cops finding them pretty quickly. Hopefully. He obviously has probably already seen the news. He obviously knows he's the one who did it. And I'm sure he's heard that the person that he shot died. And he probably is well aware of the fact that it was a 9-year old that got shot as an innocent bystander. And I'll tell you what, if it was my 9-year old and you shoot my 9-year old, you will die right there on the spot. And, obviously that 9-year old was probably not in the store by themselves. I would hope not. Hopefully they were there with a parent or someone of age, anyhow. But this is one of the reasons why I won't go anywhere without making sure I'm protected. And I encourage others to do the same just because of people like this right here. This guy was obviously at work, and I'm not sure how he planned on shooting this other 19-year-old male. I guess he would have had to have known that this guy was going to show up. I'm not sure if it was some sort of setup. I guess we'll find out more details about that later on. They did arrest a female that they're saying was somehow tied into the case, somehow associated, an affiliate of some kind with the shooter. But he is still on the run, as far as I know. And I haven't heard about anything about him getting caught or any tips or any possibilities of where he might have fled to. But this happened in Fayetteville, Georgia. His name is Adrian Jelks. And I'm not sure. I'm guessing since he works at Walmart, he probably doesn't have a whole lot of money to just stay on the run. And so eventually he's going to surface. He's going to surface somewhere. Obviously, if you have a limited amount of money, you're not going to be able to run too damn far, right? Eventually somebody's going to spot you. You got to get money somehow. And if you don't have it, you got to get it from somebody, right? Hopefully he doesn't plan on robbing people, which we've seen with, a lot of cases in the past where somebody, he's committed murder. He killed this other dude, right? And as far as we know, it's not out of self-defense. So you killed another dude and you shot a 9-year-old, so you're going to have, some pretty heavy charges against you. I would say that if he has a gun on him, he has no money, he's on the run, he knows he killed somebody, he knows he shot a 9-year-old, all these things adding up, I would say that he would probably easily go as far as to carjack someone, rob someone, something like that. These kind of people, they need to be locked up, right? They need to be locked up. They don't need to be running around doing anything. So he'll have his day when they catch him, hopefully soon. He will have his day. That's all I got to say about that. But it's just a tragedy. Not just the 19-year-old that got shot, but the kid, that caught a stray bullet that could have ended his or her life at a very early age. It's just so concerning. It's terrible. These kids running around with guns with zero training. Probably, my guess, the way he used the gun, my guess is he's probably not even allowed to have it. He's probably not supposed to have one on him when he's at work either, you know. And him being 19 years old, to be honest with you, I don't think even in Georgia, I don't think anywhere you could be carrying a gun on you anyway. I think you got to be 21 anywhere. Let me know in the comments below, but I think that's a federal standard. I don't think that right there varies state to state. So hopefully they catch him and he has his day, because I think that's what everyone wants to see happen. So let's move on to the next story here. Story number 2. We're not going to spend too long on this one. This one kind of caught my eye right here too. That's kind of the stories that we're going to be putting out here, is just stories that catch my eye, that I don't know, for some crazy reason, I might just take some kind of interest in it to share with people, make them aware of, things that are going on. Don't get me wrong, there's several stories that caught my eye, but and at some point in the future, we might look at extending these podcasts for you all. Let me know, and we could cover more stories. Right now, we're just in the middle of so much transitioning and getting the studio set up. I think you guys will enjoy that. I know I will. So, I've always been kind of interested in, certain segments of the news. To be honest, especially finance and sometimes crime. It just depends on what's going on. And how much depth there is to the story. But I needed to give you guys that first story for sure, because that dude's still on the run. So, people need to be aware of that, especially if they live in Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, any state that borders. Because with a lot of those kind of guys, they usually end up running out of state, because they usually end up with a statewide, felon warrant. They're looking for them all over the place. And let's just hope he gets caught soon. And obviously, lock your doors. If you see him, you're supposed to call Fayetteville, Georgia PD. You'll have to Google their number. I don't know what it is. But if you look the dude up by name, there's pictures of him, there's photos of him and stuff like that, okay? So just be aware of that, especially if you live in Georgia, anywhere in or around Fayetteville. He ain't got a lot of money, so without committing more crimes, he's probably not going to get too far. So just keep your eye out on that right there, okay? So we need to move on to story number 2. All right, this one here, each one of these stories are just a lot different, okay? But this one here is Biden, President Joe Biden, right? He announced that this Easter Sunday, is the Transgender Day of Visibility. And I guess he caught a lot of, whatever for it, right? I didn't know this until today, actually, after checking this story out, but this day was created, okay, or named back in 2009. And I guess it's been on the same day, March 31st, every year since 2009. And, this Easter Sunday just happened to land on March 31st. But what I found interesting about the story is not, Joe Biden announcing, something for transgender people. That's fine, whatever, right? And it lands on Easter Sunday, okay. But I found a couple things interesting. First of all, they're making out like he just created the day, and apparently that's been the exact day every year for 15 years. But Easter lands between March 22nd and April 25th every year. It changes, right? I didn't know that. It's the first Sunday after the full moon on or following the spring equinox. I didn't know that. So Easter Sunday literally can span from March 22nd to April 25th. That's over a month. I kind of had a feeling, I don't really pay too much attention to Easter, to be honest with you, and the meaning of it and all that. That's a whole nother conversation, and I'm not going to get into that. That tends to be religious, and it can be viewed as non-religious, and it's supposed to be the day that Jesus was raised from the dead. And I don't know how they label that when obviously it has to do with the moon and the spring equinox and everything like that. So that's all a little crazy too, right? But Easter can land anywhere in that over a month time period, or about a month time period. But so that was all kind of interesting. I guess those days just happen to line up for this Sunday, and more power to you, whatever, right? But the other thing I found interesting about this was that this day was created to honor transgender people by raising awareness of the discrimination that they face, okay? First of all, I don't honor too many people, okay? And I don't honor transgender people. I don't know how you could say you do honor transgender people anyway. How would you honor transgender people? I'm not really sure exactly what that means. It sounds like a bunch of nonsense. I don't have any issues with those people, okay? No, I don't have friends that are those people, but I'm not rude or ugly or anything like that to those people. They're people. I don't have any problem with them. They could do their own thing, just nobody cares about what you do behind closed doors, whether it's, doors at the doctor's office or doors at home. You don't need to know what I do behind my doors at home, or my door, or the door at the doctor office, when I go there. You don't have to, I'm not asking you to honor me on any other day, right? I don't honor you. You don't have to honor me. We could have a mutual respect for each other if we, see each other in passing, although I don't see too many. But I guess they're becoming more and more, I guess, transparent, transgender. I'm not sure, but to raise awareness of the discrimination that they face, not sure exactly what that means. I face all kinds of discrimination, and you learn to overcome that. No matter what kind of discrimination that is, you learn to overcome that, and that shouldn't that shouldn't be a thing. You're going to face discrimination in life from childhood. You're going to face discrimination at school. You're going to face discrimination if you got brothers or sisters. You're going to face discrimination from the way you look, from the way you dress, from the church you go to, from the church you don't go to, from the decisions that you make, from the job that you work, from people at your job. You're going to face discrimination all throughout your life. It doesn't matter what you do behind all those closed doors that we just mentioned, right? So to raise awareness of it doesn't make sense to me because everyone is aware of discrimination. Everyone. I'm well aware of it. And everyone just should be, right? You're aware of it since childhood. So it might be your height, your weight, your look, your anything. I'll face discrimination doing this podcast. People will talk about me, my opinions, or the way I look, or the way I talk, or whatever. There's going to be discrimination. It's just a fact, right? So I don't think we have to worry about raising awareness of this. I think we're all well aware of discrimination, so I'm not sure what that's about. So this day of visibility, I'm not sure what it's about unless there's like a big transgender party going on somewhere, and then maybe that's a thing. But the rest of this stuff is not really a thing. And Biden said, "You are loved, heard, understood. You belong, and I have your back." So breaking that down, you are loved, right? Okay, you're loved, right? I'm sure you're loved. Hopefully somebody loves everybody here, right? You're heard. I'm not sure what that means. Not sure what, is he saying, I hear you and I'm going to do something about something, or I'm just going to announce your day, Biden, you are sadly, you're not doing anything for these people besides trying to pull their vote, and it's pretty obvious. And hopefully, it's obvious to everyone else. And I'm not much of a political type of person, okay? But it doesn't matter who is president. If they're saying these things right here, I'm gonna point it out. I'm gonna be like, "What are you talking about, bro?" You're understood. Okay, you belong. Okay, you belong. Okay, nobody's saying that you people don't belong. That's like saying, I guess it makes you think of what's the opposite of you belong. You don't belong would be the opposite, right? You don't belong. So you don't belong would be like, I wish you weren't here. I wish you were dead or something, right? Okay, you belong, sure. And nobody's out to hurt you or kill you or anything like that. Because of who you are, right? Just like that first story, right? People end up hurting or killing each other because of beef that they end up having with each other, right? It has nothing to do with walking by somebody of that community and all of a sudden you don't belong, right? Okay, you belong, and he's saying, I have your back, as if we're gonna fight against, I don't know who. There's nobody on the other side of the fence, bro. There's no one on the other side of the fence. There's no army against these people or anything like that. They have their day. They have their day. Cool. You go about your business. Do whatever you do on your day. You're not coming to my house, but you could do whatever you want to do on your day. Nobody really cares, right? Anyway, that's enough of that story. And we're going to move on to our final story. not quite as interesting, I guess. Maybe some people might find it interesting. I found it a little bit interesting anyway, only for one reason. I'll get to that here at the end of the video. But this last one's about the buy now, pay later, known as BNPL, buy now, pay later, like financing, like buying things and paying for it later and not having to worry about it for a while, and then you make some payments or whatever. It kind of works like a credit card, but they did a recent poll on this, and most consumers of this program, disturbingly, are Gen Zers and people that are under 30, their mid 30s, right? They're using it for clothes, shoes, phones, gadgets, just whatever, right? And they're regretting it because the payments are kicking in. They're not able to afford it. They got student loans, they got part-time jobs, things like that. They're having a hard time making these payments, but they were spending and spending and spending, right? Because it's like, I don't know, some of these companies that are doing this, they're giving them like unbelievable amounts of money that they know is going to put them really badly in debt. They're going to have a hard time paying this stuff back. These people don't, most of the time, well, some of the time at least, I should say, they're not reporting to the major credit agencies neither. And they're hitting these kids with all these promotional offers and emails and things. They send this shit to me too. Okay, they send these emails to me, and I'm just like, I put that shit in my spam mail, right? I don't want to have anything to do with that stuff, right? But it doesn't even matter. They'll continue to send me stuff too. I don't want your stuff. I don't want your product. Your product is debt, and you're not reporting to credit agencies either. So they're referring to that as phantom debt. That's like a new term or whatnot. I don't want your stuff, right? It's just like credit cards. It's like the same thing as credit cards. Anyways, and it's causing unhealthy shopping addictions in these kids. It's ruining people. So just don't do that. Buy now, pay later stuff. I'm sorry, my neighbor's dog is barking. Sorry about that. As soon as we get the studio done upstairs, believe me, we'll be moving up there, and it'll be nice and quiet. It'll be a good setting up there. So those are our 3 stories right there, and this is episode number 1, and I'll be coming at you guys with another one soon. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. See me back. Bye.